Your clients are nervous at photo sessions. They don't know what to expect or what's expected of them, whether they're in the pictures or not. Everyone wants to be seen, heard, respected, and safe. So in this video, I'm going to give you my top 10 tips for helping people feel comfortable and confident on a photo session, whether they are in the photos or not. Let's go. Fishermen are going to look at me real funny. That's okay. So Monique Renee here, a photographer at Silver Paw Studio. And on this channel, I empower you to tell all of your tales with tales through photography and videography. Today, we're going to talk about my 10 ways to make clients and their pets feel comfortable and confident at a photo session. This is whether the people are in the photos or just being the handlers of the dogs. First thing I'd like to say about making sure all of the dogs and people are comfortable on set. We're talking about an outdoor session, so that's usually dogs. The very first thing is to call everyone by name. People say the sweetest sound is the sound of your name. So I have people fill out a questionnaire of all the animals' names and what they look like and things like that. So I try to memorize their name before I ever even get there, and that really helps. So you know all the names of the dogs and all the people, and people like hearing their name. I know I do. So try to call everyone by name instead of just puppy, puppy, puppy or something like that. Call everyone by name. That's number one. Going along with that, my number two is to call everyone by the name that they prefer. Some people have nicknames. I know for me, a lot of people call me Monica instead of Monique, and I just say, oh, it's Monique, and they say, oh, okay. And to go along with that, so make sure you know if their name is Joseph, do they prefer to be called Joe? That kind of thing. And then also their preferred pronoun. So kind of goes along the same lines. He, she, they are the typical ones, but just ask if you're not sure. I add that. I think I've added that to my questionnaire now because I wouldn't want to be called he. I prefer she. And so if you know someone has a preferred pronoun, be sure to use that. It's kind of the same thing as a nickname. Right? So whatever they're comfortable with, I call this the platinum rule. And the golden rule says do unto others as you'd like done, right? The platinum rule is do unto others how they like done. Well, I like to be called she and Monique. This other person might want to be called they and Monica. So just find out. Okay, here's one I do a lot. Constantly during the session, I said, you're doing great. You're doing great. Really be encouraging for the people and the animals. They're seeing a view very different from what you are from the camera perspective. So I always want to let people know throughout the session, especially as we get farther in and people are getting tired and maybe a little bit frustrated. They don't think it's going well, but it's fine. Just encourage them the whole time. You're doing great. The dogs are doing great. This is going wonderfully. Wow, for older pups, they're doing so good. Or for a puppy, look at how long they sat. So really a lot of encouraging to the people as well as the pets. Remember the people. This is stressful. They usually don't do things like this. This goes along with it is reinforce what you like. So instead of saying, ooh, no, I don't like that pose, just say, oh, let's try something different. So really reinforce what you like. Or, oh, you're doing great. Right there, stay right there. Hold on while you take the picture. Oh, that was so wonderful. You're doing great. So those two kind of tie together, but reinforce what you like. If something's going not how you think, just redirect into something you think that would be better. So people like that. Okay, number 5, I was going to say make sure you do this in the summer, but really all times a year. Here in Colorado, we're a mile high, so it's very dry here. It's a high desert. So this is important all year round here, is bring water. Number 5 is I always have my water bottle and a dish for the dogs that I clean every time. And it's so nice that no matter what temperature it is out, that you have water for the dogs. Sometimes I will bring water bottles, new ones for clients as well, but be sure you always bring a dish and some water for the dogs. People super appreciate that. The dogs feel good. Maybe give them the water when you're at a spot where you're going to do some action images or something where it's okay if their face is wet. But bringing water is tip 5. Okay, tip number 6. Make sure everything you do they feel comfortable with. So I always ask, I'd like to try this if you're comfortable with it. It could be, I'd like to go another few yards down the trail. It could be, can your dog sit on this rock? Or if it's an older dog, are they comfortable sitting? Or is it better have all the images standing? Anything that you think might at all be uncomfortable for them, let them ask them, do you feel comfortable with this? If we walk a little further down the trail, will your dog be okay? Is this location okay? A place like this with all of the water, will your dog automatically jump in the water? Is it too tempting to be down there? So some dogs, I'd never bring them down by the water. One thing that's huge for me is if they ever take a leash off in a wild area like this, they need to be comfortable with it. I never ask them to take a leash off, ever. It is always up to them, because I am a Photoshop wizard and I will magically disappear leashes. And that's exactly what I tell people. So always preempt everything with, do you feel comfortable with this? That's number 6. All right. Number 7, don't fiddle with your gear. Oh goodness, don't look down at your screen after every single image. Don't constantly be looking at the back of the camera. Everything you do, people will think they're doing something wrong. So make sure that you know your gear, you know your settings, you know what you're doing. Go out and practice. I tell you that all the time here on this channel is practice, practice, practice. Know your settings and don't fiddle with your gear. People feel so uncomfortable when you start doing that. Know your gear, set it up, and just start using it. Don't look at the back of your camera constantly. All right. Number 8 is chat. Chat. The more empty space there is in the quiet space, the more uncomfortable people feel. So if you're not talking, they don't think they're doing something right. And I've talked to a lot of models about this. You need to constantly be chatting. How are you doing? What did you think of yesterday's weather? It could be really small talk. All kinds of things that you could just chit chat the entire session. And I've had little kids call me on that. Like, geez, you sure talk a lot. I said, well, it makes people comfortable. That awkward silence is a real thing. So be sure, what was that? Oh, I think it was a moth, I'm okay. So just be sure that you're having a fair amount of chit chat during the session. It also kind of goes along with, saying they're doing things right and making sure everybody's comfortable. So go ahead and fill in the chit chat. I am very chatty. I drink a lot of water after a session, and that's okay. I want people to feel very comfortable. So number 8 was chat. Okay, number 9 is let them know when you're almost done. It's always nice to know, okay, this is the last location or pose or whatever it is. A lot of times, the very end of my session, I will put my wide angle lens on and get the pictures of them looking up at a treat. And it's pretty fun. And they could just be sitting there and looking really goofy with the wide angle lens on. And I always tell the people, okay, I have one last idea. I'm just gonna change my lens. We'll get these few images and we'll be done. And they love to know when we're almost done. So that is tip number 9. And guess what? We're almost done. I only have one more tip to go. All right. Tip number 10 is know when to call it. It can be so tempting if the session's going well, you've got so many great images, the dogs and the people are doing great. You have to stop. At some point, you need to stop. No matter how much energy you're feeling right then and there, you're gonna push everyone to a limit if you don't know when to just call it. Do not keep going. And every time I said, oh, this is going so great, I have more ideas, and then it just everyone just gets tired. And you can just do that in a separate session. And that's usually what I'll say. I'll say, man, this has given me so many more ideas, but we're just gonna have to put that off to the next session. And that's okay. And usually they're relieved. They're kind of done too. So I know this is like our favorite thing, but it is very taxing on people and their pets, no matter how great we're all like feeling in the moment. So know when to call it. That's number 10. You have ideas that will help everybody here. Let us know in the comments. What do you do to help people and animals feel comfortable during a photo session? If you like this video, you'll definitely like this one. And as always, I wish you many woofs, purrs, and TREATSs. If you liked this video, you're definitely gonna like these. Ooh, pelican.